Hey, this is the World Advice Channel 2. What I want to talk about today is what are solutions that are needed in order to improve the Black community. So, for this video, what I'll be discussing are the solutions that us Black people need to do in order for our community to improve in terms of how well we are doing, in order for us to not only live better lives, but also be on the same level as other communities of people. Okay. So, to add to that, I just want to mention for this video, not only will I discuss that, I'll discuss it in a simple and straightforward way so anyone can understand it. So now I mention that, let's get started. So when it comes to the solutions that are needed in order to help improve the Black community, the first solution I just want to get off the top of my head before I get into the other solutions is that it simply comes down to the fact when it comes to the, of course, the issue of improving the Black community is that we need to start diversifying our jobs. Now, what does job diversification mean? Well, what job diversification means is simply being as a community, instead of just simply doing the same main job all the freaking time, the same exact same jobs, for that matter, to be more exact, all the time, which just consists of music and sports, which literally every Black person who it seems has some potential tends to only pick those two particular fields of work. The truth of the matter is, when it comes to job diversification, it would mean that we start having a community of people that instead of just doing two main jobs, we have a greater variety of jobs we do. Because the truth of the matter is, music and sports, ironically, um, are literally two of the hardest skills to get into. Okay, those are literally two of the hardest skills for you to see success in. Both skills are extremely hard, both demanding in their own way, and it's designed to be very competitive. So a very small percentage of people actually make it. In all honesty, okay, for that matter, to be honest with you. So that's the truth of the matter when it comes to those two particular skills. Okay, so obviously, as I'm certain you are aware, just to add to that, there's over in for the African diaspora, whether it could be Black people living in America, Canada, Britain, and so on and so forth. Okay, when it comes to improving the Black community, when I'm referring to the African diaspora specifically, we need to start realizing that we need to start diversifying our job sets, because the more you have only two jobs, pretty much everyone who has high ambitions wants to do, the smaller you're going to have the percentage of people who actually see success, because it's going to be too competitive, and there's only so much room you can have in the music world as well as the sports world for someone to actually be a big name. So obviously you're going to want to have people do other skills as well, whether it could be engineering, rocket science, so on and so forth, yada 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 yada. And the more you obviously have people do a greater variety of skills and sets, though in honesty, to put it bluntly, obviously it's going to make it a lot more likely, for that matter, that you're going to have more people who actually see success. As I said before, there's only so much room for people to be successful in the music world, and there's only so much room for people to be successful in a sports world. But if you have more people doing greater diversity of jobs, makes it way more likely you'll see more people do success in all the different fields. So that's the first point, a greater diversification of jobs. The second thing we need to do as Black people in order to improve our community, I should say second solution, is that we need to start running our own businesses. Because as I'm certain you're all aware, and if you're not aware through the media, I'm certain you've probably heard through people personally, especially if you're Black, of course, no surprise there, that there is a lot of racism in the workplace. There's a lot of people, when you pick a typical job, that obviously, do not really let you do much and don't treat you well and do all sorts of things that sometimes are not even worth mentioning because they disrespect you, okay? And obviously, the fact is you're Black, a lot of white people are going to see you guys going up higher as a potential threat to them. So they're not going to treat you well, and they're not going to let you go higher, you know? Because that's the truth. Every Black person knows that in the workplace, they don't treat Black people well, and they don't really promote them, and they could be doing the best job and have someone else, you know, rise higher than them who doesn't even do that good of a job. It's down to common sense, okay? This is a known fact. This is nothing new. Every Black person's known this. This has been going on for literally decades, okay? So the truth of the matter is, when it comes to having our black businesses. Of course, if it's run by a black person, whether you are the one directly running it or you're working for someone who is black, there's obviously going to be less room for racial discrimination in a workplace. So that's a second thing to also mention, okay? If you obviously have less room for racial discrimination, you're obviously going to realize, because the people who actually work there, or I should say are the boss there, are actually black, you're gonna realize quickly, you know what? Maybe I have a higher chance of doing a lot better, and not just doing better, but being able to be more comfortable in an environment where I'm surrounded by people who look like me instead of being in an environment where I'm surrounded by mostly white people and races of people who are, let's be honest, not trying to be racist here, are known to have a high percentage of people to kiss ass to the white people, okay, to get a better position and stuff like Chinese, Japanese, Koreans, and stuff like that, who are known for kissing white people's asses anyway. If I'm obviously in an environment where I don't have to worry about being around people of other races who are obviously not all the time going to be nicest to me, I'm going to realize quickly, you know what, I'm going to be doing a lot better. I'm going to be more comfortable. And if I'm more comfortable and also a lot less pissed off and less distracted due to drama, I'm obviously going to do a much better job for the work I'm doing. So just down to common sense. And obviously, the better you do your job, obviously, the more money you make, okay? And so on and so forth. And as well as if we have people run our own businesses and stuff, regardless of what the type of business, you're going to realize quickly as well, we also have more power because, of course, it's run by a black person. Like, what are they going to do about it? You know, like if it's run by a black person, they can't pull off the slick shit they put off in the past. So that's the second point, okay, I want to get across. Now, the third point I want to get across when it comes to the third solution to improving the black community is getting rid of backwards belief systems, when it comes to work. Because the thing I've noticed about a lot of black people is that we tend to have a way of showing up late to things everywhere we go. On average, the majority of us, not everyone, but a majority of us show up late. And if you have a job to do, like you're going to someone's house or something like that, like you're doing roofing, you're cleaning a pool, whatever, blah, 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 blah. If you're showing up late, like 40 minutes to an hour late, you're going to realize quickly there's not going to be many people who are going to want to hire you, especially when you have people of other cultures who show up, if anything, 10 to 20 minutes early for that matter. So the truth of the matter is, if we want to start doing better as a black community, we are going to have to cut out the bullshit when it comes to lack of showing up on time to things, okay? As well as not overcharging things when the things that you obviously are selling, literally everywhere else you go, you can clearly tell it's not. It doesn't have to be that expensive because a lot of black business overcharge, and I believe a lot of them overcharge because they're not willing to go out of their way to work hard enough to compete against other people. So they just simply rely on, a black person is going to show up at my business, so it's going to make it more likely that I'm going to make money anyway, which is a stupid way of thinking and is a disrespectful way of thinking. So the truth of the matter is, we need to cut out that crap. We need people who, when they do jobs, have good work efficiency. Okay, so that's the third point I want to make for that matter. Okay, better work efficiency instead of this bullshit about showing up late and doing all this type of crap. And that's a third thing I have to say. Now, the fourth and last thing I want to mention is controlling our own entertainment, because the truth of the matter is when it comes to entertainment, especially due to the influence of America on the world stage, I think in the first time in human history we've realized how important entertainment is. Because the truth of the matter is, entertainment is very important because it has a way of not only being an easy way to constantly stream and rejuvenate revenue, whatever you like to say. To sum it up, it's an easy way to constantly produce more and more and more revenue in the process, because of course it's something that can literally always be produced. It can always generate revenue. It's also a good way to have influence and be relevant in the world, okay, for that matter, okay? Entertainment is extremely powerful, as well as the fact that all entertainment has some form of message in it, which can influence people, okay? And if we could control our own entertainment, especially us black people, of course, being human beings, as a matter of fact, the first original human beings, history has shown, more specifically, archaeologists have shown, look like us, not even somewhat like us, like look directly like us. The truth of the matter is, to put it bluntly, when it comes to that particular issue. The simple truth is that we as human beings, we are designed for pleasure, and not controlling our entertainment leaves us open to people taking advantage of us. And of course, through taking advantage of us, they can do a lot of things that are not even worth mentioning to us. So that's a fourth thing, controlling our entertainment so we can help not only through entertainment keep our people distracted and actually enjoy life and look forward to life, but also as well, of course, inspire us to do more. Because entertainment has the ability to inspire people, for that matter, to do better and so on and so forth. So that is the truth of the matter when it comes to it. Eventually, I'll probably do a video where I go into further detail about these exact points. But for this video, I hope I summed up what could be done to help the Black community. So anyway, this is my video. I hope you found it informative as well as entertaining. And just remember, if you like this video and videos like this, remember to thumb this video up and hit the subscribe button. And this is all I have to say. And simply put, I'm out. So bye.